Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Matthew Pierce. I'm coming to you from A Love Awakening. How is everybody doing today? So I kind of wanted to, we're going to get to the energy forecast, but I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a story about something that happened to me yesterday. And it was so profound and it was so amazing that I just had to tell you about it this morning. So yesterday I was out on my errands and just taking and getting my banking done and getting some things from the store, etc. And I've been in this area for a little while. About a year and a half, but I really haven't explored that much. So I decided that I wanted to take and get out and explore a little bit. So I just started taking roads that I hadn't ever taken before, and I wound up in another part of the city that I wasn't familiar with. And so I was driving down this one side street, and it was beautiful. It had some, nice houses and, the gardens and the things. And as I was driving on the left-hand side out my driver's side window, I looked out and there were two little girls with a lemonade stand. Now, if you know me, I have a philosophy that if I see a lemonade stand set up, I'm stopping. I am going to stop and I am going to get some lemonade. It's always been one of my things. It's always been, one of these things. But yesterday was the first time that when I saw a lemonade stand, it popped up into my head and said, no, you need to keep going. This is coronavirus time. This is, all of this bad stuff is happening. What happens if, blah, 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 blah. And so I drove by, okay? And I was like, I can't do this. I can't bring myself to stop. And I started having this dialogue in myself, and I'm like, I have put myself in such a state of fear that I can't even stop to get a little glass of lemonade from two little girls that are serving it on the side of the road. Now, the more that I thought about it, that I said, I can't do this. I'm going to turn around. So I turned around and went around the block and came back up. And I looked out the window, and one of the girls apparently recognized my car. And so as she recognized my car, she almost stepped out in the street with this sign, and it was great. It said, free hand sanitizer with purchase of lemonade. Now, I had a little bit of an issue with how sanitizer was spelled, but other than that, that just caught me off guard. Just absolutely caught me off guard. So I parked my car down the street a little bit. I came up the sidewalk, and of course, Mom was sitting on the porch, and she was, very, watching very closely. And I was like, let me paint this scene for you. As I'm walking up, these two girls looked like more they were performing a science experiment than actually selling lemonade. Okay, they had their face masks on. Okay. And they had not rubber gloves on, but the dish gloves, the yellow dish gloves, okay, that you get to do dishes with. So they had donned on their dish gloves. They had their little container, set up with the lemonade, and it was all packaged, and had the plastic wrap over it, to keep it cold, and it was amazing. And so I came up, and the one little girl just jumped right out from behind the stand. And she goes, so would you like to buy some lemonade? And I said, absolutely. I would love to buy some lemonade. And she goes, oh, you're my first customer. I was like, great. I said, I love it. I was like, how much is the lemonade? And she goes, it's free. And I said, but you said if I would like to buy a thing of lemonade. And she goes, yeah, absolutely. Would you like to buy it? And I said, yes. And she goes, okay. And I said, how much is it? She goes, it's free. And I was like, well, then I can't really buy it if you're giving it away. And she goes, no. She goes, you set the price. And I'm like, okay. So I pulled out my wallet, and I had that $3 in there. And so I took and I gave her $3. And she says, okay, I'll fix your lemonade. And she goes, but you get free hand sanitizer with the purchase of a lemonade. So here's the hand sanitizer. And the little girl on the other side, she came over and she had that one of those industrial size bottles of hand sanitizer. And I held up my hands and she pumped down and gave me a big old glob of hand sanitizer. So here I am taking, and I'm, putting that on my hands and everything else like that. And the other girl's preparing my lemonade. And so she gave me a little lemonade, which was awesome. So I drank it, and the little girl said, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your business. Now, they were 8, 10 years old. I mean, I thought this was just absolutely amazing what they were doing and how they were handling everything. And so I said, well, what made you come up with this idea? What made you, come out and set up a lemonade stand, especially during this time? And what she said next, I am putting on a t-shirt. We've all heard the phrase, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And how she phrased this next line was life-changing. She goes, I'm not afraid, I made lemonade. I'm not afraid, I made lemonade. It's a testament to society right now. It's a testament to how our world is going, that we're living in fear. And I had that fear. I had that fear because when I was driving past, I almost passed by and I almost said, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to stop and I'm not going to buy lemonade because what if? Okay? And I'm glad that I did. So we sat there and we talked for a little bit more, and the mom came down off of the steps, just to kind of find out what we were talking about and everything. And I introduced myself and we started having our conversation. And I, told the girls, thank you very much for everything. I appreciate y'all being out here and doing this. And so I started walking back to my car, and the mom followed me. And she came over and she said, listen, I really want to thank you for stopping and getting some lemonade. And she goes, I know that you were probably scared and you probably had to, fight, any kind of fear that you had to, come up and get a cup of lemonade from two little girls that you have no idea who they are. And I was like, well, I have a policy that when I see this, that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take and get a thing of lemonade from someone who sets up a stand beside the road. And she goes, well, I just want to let you know how special it is. She goes, because they won't tell you this. They didn't want to say anything about this. They came up with this themselves. And I was like, that's great. And she goes, no, you have to understand the reason why. And I was like, okay. I was like, what's the story behind it? And she goes, my husband and I lost our jobs during this time of COVID. And we've had a really, really, really tough time. And so we're about to move. We're about to leave and go somewhere else so my husband can take a job. And so the girls wanted to get together and help. And so that's the reason why they put this lemonade stand together, is to raise a little bit of money to help mom and dad move. But she said going even further than that is that they have had such an outpouring of support from their friends and family in the area, with donations of food, with donations of their time, with donations of all kinds. These two little girls wanted to give back because they had seen all the gratitude and the overwhelming support that they had in the community. That was the reason why these girls were out there. And they took on the philosophy as, I'm not afraid, I'll make lemonade. If we get anything from that story, and if I can take anything away from that story and have something given back to me by telling it, it's we can't be afraid. We can't be afraid to create a world that we love. We cannot be afraid to create something that is bigger than what we see in the world right now. That's what I want. That is the mission of A Love Awakening, is to have something greater than what we have right now. You know, I have had a lot of comments that have been saying, you know, you talk a lot about manifesting, and you talk a lot about, you know, energy, and you talk a lot about, you know, these things, but, you know, how does that really affect me? Well, it affects everyone, because we are master manifestors. We are people that can create our world. And I saw yesterday the power of two little girls trying to create a world that is better than what we're seeing right now. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put this out there as the energy forecast for today. Create your world. Create those things in your life that you want to see that are different than what the world is right now. Because just a little act of making lemonade and sharing back the energy that people have given us is going to bring us closer together. It's going to bring us closer as a human race. So I'm going to end there. I'm going to say, keep making lemonade. Don't be afraid. Create those things that you want inside of your life. Look at how we can create a world that is different. Use your energy for good. Let's manifest something amazing. So if you like this message, please comment, please give me a like. Our website is www.aloveawakening.com. We have a giveaway that we're going to be doing before the end of the month here, so your time is almost up. So go on, register, get yourself on the mailing list, and that will enter you into a drawing for a special piece of jewelry made specifically for you by Lisa. It's amazing. And you can check out our YouTube channel, A Love Awakening. We will also take and put this broadcast on there, so you can watch it at your leisure at a different time. If you're watching it from there, please go ahead and share it and subscribe to our channel, because that's where we're going to be putting all of our teachings and all of the different things that we are doing. So I'm Matthew Pierce again. I love all of you. I love being here with you, and don't be afraid. Go make some lemonade.